Welcome one last time to the Let's Play at the LDC number 25 contest lows, where I will be showing out the intended solutions to my own contest lows. So will be the final video that will round off the video series. So let's go ahead and get started. First up, we have my Rule 1. Rule 17, Sports-tacular Athletic Rescue Mission. So, yeah, I pretty much envisioned a low where, yeah, there was one lemming trapped, and you had to, like, get other lemmings to, go around and get him free. So, yeah, the sports, toss happens to be one of my favorites from Lemmings 2. I especially love the green, with the, train pieces and everything. And, yeah, I essentially made another Rule 1 low in the previous contest low that also had a lot of green as well. It happened to be the, I think it's called the Bao Lab Tower from Lemmings 3 or something like that. So, yes, I think with this, it should be clear that green is my favorite color. But anyway, so here we have 4 pre-placed lemmings. Yeah, we have a pre-placed blocker that's a pre-assigned climber, a pre-assigned blocker that's a pre-assigned floater, and a pre-assigned swimmer slash glider, and a normal lemming that's also trapped behind some one-way walls. So, yes, I essentially envisioned that's something like this, where you have to like use different lemmings to go rescue the other lemmings. So it's already a bit different from some of the Rule 1 lows, where essentially you either have to release one lemming at a time, like in the Minis, or you have to have the different athletes do different parts of the low. Here, however, this requires using lemmings to rescue some others that cannot do some of the work because they are trapped. So here, yeah, we go ahead and release the pre-assigned climber here with a walker, and then mine. And yes, for this track here, I decided to use a music track from the Lemmings United pack. So in a way, spoiler alert, not really. Just know that this is a track from Lemmings United. I just really love this remix a lot of the sports tribe from Lemmings 2. I believe this is by I don't remember who it's by now. It's either by New Mac. No, no, it's probably not New Mac. It's probably the video boss or something like that. But yes, essentially Icho got permission from the person who posted a video at the track on YouTube while he was making his United pack. And so essentially, since it's okay with the user and everything, yeah, I decided to just use this track. It's just one of my favorites. Yeah, really love it a lot. So yes, here, go ahead and jump, and then bash through the one-way wall here in order to release the pre-assigned swimmer slash glider. And then I go ahead and have him platform across. And it will always be done in such a way so that he gets over land on time for the other climber to not get into trouble. Yeah, because if he does, then he's just going to fall into the water down here. So yes, he essentially just goes back up into his minor tunnel that he made earlier. The platform will stop right here, just before the wall. And then, yeah, I'll go ahead and use him to bash to get the normal lemming free. The climber in the meantime can just shimmy to get to the exit. Okay, and then with the normal lemming, I'll go ahead and make a laser tunnel, and then he's going to go ahead and shimmy into it. And then I'll go ahead and make him build here at the edge. The swimmer glider, in the meantime, will go ahead and get underneath the platform bridge and shimmy. Yeah, he bumps into this square block here, and then bounces back and goes to the left. And we'll reach down here. Okay, and then once the builder's done, yeah, this is enough for him to jump to get over the green square block here. And then in the meantime, this swimmer glider will fence to get into the water and just swim to the exit. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and build here at the edge. And then once the builder has reached over far enough, then I'll go ahead and release the blocker with a walker. And then when the builder's done, I go ahead and laser to make a tunnel, and then go ahead and shimmy. The floor in the meantime would just drop down here, onto this island. And then the normal lemon would just platform up this water gap and walk into the exit. The floor gets down here, and then we use a laser, and essentially in such a way so that it makes a hole here. So that the lemon can just jump into the laser tunnel and just walk down the slope and get to the exit. As there's a ball trap here, and there's absolutely no way to reach it from the left side down here. Instead, you need to make a hole to get over it. So, in Icho's recorded playthrough of this of the contest laws, he complimented me on the visuals on my Room 1, and I gotta say that was very, very nice of him. And it's very nice to hear from him that he thinks that I am improving tremendously in the visual department of things for my lows. And in addition to that, I gotta say I'm very, very proud of my R1 here. I really, really love the puzzle I was able to come up with. In particular, I really love the way that I sprinkled the variety of ways to get to an exit. So here, for example, just simply shimmy to get to the top left exit. Here, use a laser and then shimmy into it, and then simply platform over the water gap. Here, fence to get to the water gap, and then just swim to the exit. And then finally, laser to get over the top, and then just jump into the tunnel to get to the exit. So I really love the variety of ways that I've done here in order to get a lemon to an exit. Now, here, I was going to show off another solution here, as it's not exactly the intended way, but I consider it an acceptable alternative, and that is Icho's solution to my R1 low. Essentially here, instead of platforming here, instead, after bashing, he just simply let the swimmer glider just get down here, without needing to spend another skill here. So instead, he just simply jumped back across with the climber, bashed the normal lemming free, laser with the normal lemming, and then but before the laser breaks through all the terrain, he interrupts the laser with a shimmier. And then after that, the climber takes a little detour, climbs up here, and then at the very far end of the basher tunnel, he goes ahead and delays him with a shimmier in order to give the normal lemming enough time to platform and build to seal off the gap. And this is done just in time in order for the climber to climb up to the right and then get up to this area up here. And so, other than this difference here of using the platform in the builder, the rest of the solution is essentially the same. In other words, using a laser to get up here and then platform over the water gap. Another difference here is that instead of releasing the blocker with a walker like I did here, Icho used a laser to free the blocker. So that's another very nice way of doing this part here. And so because of that, this is a level where I do not want to be picky about enforcing my solution completely. So therefore, I decided to just accept it. Because it's very, very creative. And it's really nice to know that there are multiple ways to do the low anyway. So essentially, once you do that, then essentially the floater gets down here, and because the walker was not used to free the blocker, essentially the walker is used down here to turn the floater back to the right in order to laser and then just jump into it to get to the exit. So very, very nice alternative there. And I think I did remember that the swimmer glider is able to get down here without needing anything else, because I think I made pretty certain that he would just land on here instead of continuing his way down. But in any case, this is just a really, really minor nitpick that I said nah, it doesn't really need to be enforced completely. In any case, this isn't exactly the first time that I've used the underside of a platformer to shimmy and everything. This would probably be maybe my second time that I made it low using it, or at least requires, or my intended solution uses it. But like I said, I'm not going to be picky here about enforcing my solution completely, because I consider Icho's solution perfectly fine. Like I said, freeing the blocker with a laser, that's pretty creative. And it essentially serves the exact same purpose anyway, because like you still need a the walker could just be used to free the blocker, and he'll turn around here anyway, back to the right. So therefore, you don't need to spend it down here. And also, even with using the constructor skills up here, he still needed to use all the skills to solve my R1 anyway. So yes, like I said, I consider his solution perfectly fine. And again, I would have loved to show his solution off here as well, but well, you can see his solution in his playthrough. So I would refer you to his video if you want to see his solution. But yes, that is my R1 though, and yeah, one that I am quite proud of actually. Yeah, even more so than my R1 from the previous contest, which I am actually also proud of too. But this one I'm even prouder of. Alrighty, so with that, let's go ahead to my Route 2 level. So this is Route 210, the 10-piece puzzle rush, and here we are under a time limit of 35 seconds. And yes, this time limit is necessary because if I don't put a time limit, or if I put it too high, yeah, essentially it will render one of the skills useless here. This is 210. So yes, because the time limit is only 35 seconds, this is a very quick level anyway. And yes, regarding the track, this is actually found in a game called Lost in Time by Sierra. So, you know, Sierra, that's the one that made the Incredible Machine. But yeah, this is found in a different one, yeah, called Lost in Time. It's by a company, I think Cockatoo was the name of it. But yeah, this is essentially a track that plays later in the game. Yeah, in probably around the second half of it, I think. Yeah, while you are on the hold of the ship. Or at least the protagonist is. But anyway, yeah, first timing out this entrance here, we'll get a climber. And then same thing with the second one. Yeah, he also gets a climber. Let's see. The second one will get a slider. Yeah, both of these will float down safely. And then, yes, with the first timing in the lead here, going back to the left, I go ahead and make him jump. And then, yeah, as I said before, these guys will float. The one going out to the right will build to the exit, while the other one that's going to the left, yeah, will use laser here. And then the one that just jumped over the small green block and also the trap, he'll bomb the trap trigger away, so that these lemmings going over here will not die to the trap. And this laser is important because if you do not use it, these last two lemmings that are coming will not reach the X on time. Initially, I made the mistake of setting the time limit too high, that it was actually possible to solve it without using the laser here. And that was my mistake. So that was all me. But that's what I get for not completely testing my level for any potential like misfortunes like that. Originally, I believe it was a 40-second time limit because I didn't want the time limit to be super tight. Yeah, like in such a way so that you will always finish with a second remaining, like you will here. But well, yeah, as I said, yeah, 40 seconds actually turned out to be enough time for these two lemmings to make it to the exit on time. And so yes, after lasering, yeah, then he goes on to the left, and we just simply platform up the gap, and that's it. So the only differences in the solution would just simply be on how the timing works out. In particular, this one being very tight before anyone gets into danger. But that's if you assign the lemmings up here the skills differently with the climbers and the jumpers and everything. And essentially, as you can see in the solution, it doesn't really matter how you use the climbers and the jumper. Yeah, you can have the jumper go out to the right instead, while one of the climbers goes out to the left, like an Icho solution. But in any case, yeah, the signature elements of the solution are still there. So using a getting two lemmings to go out to the right here, one to build to the exit, and then another one to slide down to go out to the left and laser here, and also to platform from the right side at the bottom here. So essentially, oh, and also bombing the trap trigger away. Essentially, you can pretty much start seeing like the signature element of one that I use, where you keep the crowd moving. Yeah, you do not contain them at all. Yeah, I'm slowly starting to get into making those levels myself. because these are the types of lows that I tend to like a lot. And yeah, as you saw with the timer, you finish with 1 second remaining. So this will always be the case. And so you would definitely see that's exactly why the time limit is needed. Because if it's not, then you don't need to use the laser at all. Yeah, you can just simply have everyone take the long way around. So yeah, there's that. Oh, and also regarding the low itself, yeah, originally I wanted to make the level in the pillar tile set. However, I ran into problems with keeping under the 10-piece terrain limit here, and essentially there wasn't any easy way to turn the lemmings around. Like instead of the one-way force spheres that you saw, yeah, I would have to use more terrain pieces, and that unfortunately would push me past the 10 limit piece limit. And so yeah, that was a really huge bummer. Yeah, and that like yeah, I did not plan or I did not take into account. Yeah, that I would run into problems like that. And so yeah, then began a long search of another tile set to use so that I can like get around it. And eventually, I stumbled upon the I think it's called the psychedelic tile set, the one that you saw for my route to. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's perfect. Yeah, it has those one-way force fields that I can use to turn lemmings around instead of using another terrain piece. So it was just perfect. And in a way, I kind of enjoyed it as well, making the low as well. But yeah, it was very frustrating getting the low correctly. Yeah, getting the layout correctly and just making sure that the timing works out perfectly. So like making sure that you finish all the gaps in time, yeah, before the crowd arrives, and just making sure that the essentially the layout is done in such a way so that if you don't bomb, yeah, then the lemmings will splat. So yeah, it was a bit frustrating, and I almost gave up on like getting the design that I wanted, and essentially just like scrapping it. But yeah, I persevered and made it work out. So definitely a good learning experience for me still, as I am still somewhat of a beginner at making those. But after having made those for a little over a year now, yeah, I'm definitely past that point anyway. So um, but there's still plenty of things that I can learn. Yeah, when it comes to like level design and everything. Yeah, in particular with making sure to get the signature elements you want and just making those look nice in general. Anyway, the final though for me, my route 3. So the lemming calculator. Um, so for my route 3, this one actually took me quite a while before I came up with something to make for it. Yeah, as I am not an artist myself, um, yeah, it was very hard for me to come up with something to depict in the level. And then ultimately, after much thought, yeah, I decided on a calculator. And essentially, right here, I used uh, Dexter's truck tile set here. So Dexter is the brother of 10X, and I early in the playing phase, I asked 10X what his brother thought of my root reload, and yeah, essentially he told me that I did his truck tile set justice here. Yeah, because he told me it looks really nice, and everyone else on the forums has told me the exact same thing. They told me my archery looks really good. I was like, oh wow, I'm actually surprised. But I'm very thankful to hear that from everyone, though. But anyway, yeah, with this calculator, though, I would definitely have to say this is probably like the laziest approach that any load designer can take because, yeah, I didn't have to do that much because essentially the truck tile set is just perfect in order to make a calculator because all the pieces were just provided for me already, so that I didn't have to like combine pieces in a very complicated way in order to get what I want, such as these calculator buttons and everything. So yes, essentially this law came about. Essentially, I looked at the calculator that comes with Windows. Yeah, and I tried to see what buttons on there I can include. So obviously, I needed to include all 10 of the digits here. So 0 to 9, and then yeah, I also decided to use the C, the clear button, without the outline over it, just because yeah, the C is actually too big, yeah, in order to fit inside it. And so that's why it's not in one of those outlines. And then also, obviously, the four basic mathematical operations plus, minus, times, and divide, and also an equal sign. And then a couple others that I drew in there, such as the x factorial. Yeah, that's what the exclamation mark means. It essentially means the product of the numbers 1 through x. So, for example, if x was 4, then 4 exclamation mark 4 factorial means 1 times 2 times 3 times 4, which is 24. And then, yes, here I put pi and then e, x squared, and then the square root of x. Yeah, naturally I wanted to include the square root of x, and also x squared together. And then e and pi, yeah, you see these constants a lot, so yeah, I also decided to put them in as well. And then, yeah, if I zoom out, yeah, there are some other mathematical things I put in here as well, such as this hilarious, like erroneous, statement up here. Pi is exactly 3. So, in case that reference escapes you, this is actually from a Simpsons episode where Professor, I think his name is Professor Frink. Yeah, essentially, in order to get, because the audience was not listening to him, yeah, he just simply shouts, "Pi is exactly 3," and then that was enough to get the audience's attention. Yeah, at a presentation that was going to happen. And yes, if you know some mathematics, you would know that this is not true at all. Yeah, pi is definitely not exactly 3, but it can be used as an approximation, because we know pi is approximately 3.14. Yeah, and it's an irrational number that goes on forever. It never stops. And yeah, I don't exactly know how many digits has been calculated, but yeah, so there's been billions, even billions of digits, I believe. Yeah, of them calculated. And yes, I have also created some other equations down here as well. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. You may know this better as the Pythagorean theorem. So it's essentially a formula for right triangles, where if you know 2 the size, then you can solve for the third one. And c is taken to be the hypotenuse, or the longest side of a right triangle, which essentially means the side opposite the right angle in the triangle. And then here is e raised to the I pi power plus 1 equals 0. That is known as Euler's identity. So it's a very beautiful equation. And then finally, E equals mc squared. Yeah, which is in general relativity, I believe. Yeah, E is the oh shoot. I think it is energy. Great, I am having a brain freeze here. And then m is mass, and then c is the speed of light. So it's essentially saying energy is equal to mass times the speed of light squared. So yes, those are some of the equations that I decided to put in there, even though you don't get to interact with them at all in this, at least in the intended solution. And then the rest of it is just simply decoration around the calculator in here. Essentially, the main part here is important, of just interacting with the calculator. Yeah, because that's the object that I decided to depict, and then everything else is just decoration. But anyway, yeah, that was a lot of rambling there, and just some facts there, yeah, in case you're not aware of them. Oh, and the track here is from The Incredible Machine 2. Well, not exactly from The Incredible Machine 2, but rather like a nice remix of it. Yeah, I believe it's from The Return of the Incredible Machine or something like that. Or at least the ones that are essentially like spin-offs of it, of The Incredible Machine 2. So this is, I guess you can technically say this is kind of like a rock version of it, of the track found in The Incredible Machine 2. So this is called Keep Trying. And yes, you definitely have to keep on trying if you are not successful in solving this though. But yeah, in regards to this though, yeah, this took a lot of background fixes because Amani kept back routing it. Because there is one essential trick in here that I want enforced. And I think with this current version, I think it's finally enforced. Yeah, after 9-10 versions. But Amani is one of those, yeah, he's a really good solver and everything, and essentially it's very difficult to back route and fix against him. And same thing with Icho too, yeah, because both of them have had a history of extensively back routing my lows. But anyway, yeah, first timing here will bomb before the trap trigger. First timing that reaches the gap here will build. Yeah, this is a safe ball. Yeah, this is a very difficult though to know where you can go to get down safely into the calculator. Okay, glide here, and then platform up this gap here, and then when he reaches here, we're gonna go ahead and platform here. Okay, so this is one of the tricks here that I wanted to enforce. Here, there's a tiny indent in the terrain here that allows you to platform. Yeah, and that allows a platform brick to be laid. And you'll see why that needs to be done in a moment here. But in the meantime, yeah, the next lemming that comes here will glide so that he gets on top of the radical symbol, aka the square root symbol. And yes, here, yeah, even though it doesn't seem like much, yeah, this platformer raises the wall just enough in order to not allow anyone to step out to the left. So this is absolutely necessary. Yeah, you will need to contain these entrances here. Yeah, you could try to maybe brute force and see you can like do the low without containing it with some good timing, but it will not work out. Yeah, some lemmings will just arrive too soon and will just splat. Yeah, this took quite a while for me to enforce because, again, yeah, Amani kept avoiding this here. And this right here, yeah, I essentially got inspiration from the pacifism rank finisher of Lemmings United. So yes, this platform finishes the gap just in time before the lemming arrives and falls through. And then with the other glider here, we're gonna go ahead and platform here. And notice here, yeah, he lays the brick just in the nick of time. Yeah, before this lemming can fall through and splat. And let me see, what do I do here? Yes, I give him a climber. Yeah, it doesn't really matter who you make a climber here. But yeah, you do need a climber in order to get a worker lemming from the right side. Okay, and then this glider that was over here and finish up platforming up the gap, he turns around and then you platform over here to get over the trap. And then yes, this climber will get a shimmier. And yes, this is all shimmier friendly on terrain. So he will stop around here. Yeah, at the base of the foot on the left side. So yes, as you can see, the platform reaches far enough ahead, yeah, so that the normal one, yeah, that's not a glider, is able to get past the trap without getting killed. Oh yes, and also, this glider here, yeah, he bounces off here, and then yeah, again, another timing thing here, finishes just in the nick of time, or rather, reaches over just in the nick of time, so that the glider does not fall through and die to the trap. So I gotta say, I'm really proud of the timing here, and yes, there's an absolutely good reason why the release rate is locked here. Because essentially, in earlier versions, when it was not locked, yeah, Amani was able to do some RR adjustments to avoid using the containment trick over here. So to avoid that, and to get the solution further in the right direction, the intended solution that is, yeah, I made the release rate locked. So at this time, I go ahead and send up another climber. Yeah, we get the shimmy pickup here, and then we make the second climber shimmy as well. So yes, they get interrupted here, and yeah, it is not splat high at all. Yep, and then we go ahead and bomb here. Yeah, the left entrances are fine now. Yeah, they can just simply walk to the exit. So now it's just the right entrance that we need to take care of. So this second worker lemming, yeah, the one that we made the climber here and then shimmy, yeah, he just simply platforms up the rest of the gaps. So we get to this symbol here, the approximate symbol. And then this is also the indigo symbol, yeah, that you see in calculus. Yeah, he collects the builder pickup, and then we're just going to use this builder to release the crowd, and that's it. So, yes, the feedback that I got about this low is that both from Icho and Amani, yeah, they both told me that this low was quite difficult. Yeah, so the reason why this low took so many background fixes is because I was very, very hesitant to make some skills pickups here. Because I've always had this notion that by making some skills pickups, it's just going to make my low much easier than intended. However, I have been proven wrong by both Icho and Amani. Yeah, because they both had told me my R3 is still very difficult. So, this is just simply another case of me underestimating the difficulties of my own lows. And I am definitely far from being a unique case, as this is essentially a problem that every low designer has, where it is very difficult to judge the difficulty of your own work. Yeah, and I am certainly no exception here. But if that's the case, yeah, then yeah, perhaps I should just simply drop that notion of my lows, of thinking my lows are too easy. Yeah, at least relatively speaking to the other contest lows. Yeah, because if the top solvers of this community consider my lows pretty difficult, then yeah, I should just drop that notion because yeah, I am underestimating the difficulties of my lows considerably. And so yes, with this calculator here, yeah, some bit of fun here. Yeah, some flamethrowers and everything. Yeah, you can essentially think that some of these buttons, they're too hot to touch. Yeah, I mean, you could try using these keys in order to do some calculations and everything, but you'll probably get burned if you try to do so. And similar to this E, yeah, this E key is leaking liquid here, or 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 is leaking battery liquid. So unfortunately, the E key is non-functional. But yes, the water here is necessary, yeah, in order to prevent a back route. Yeah, interestingly enough, it is possible for them to step up into the loop here and then get back up here. Yeah, so that you take a shortcut to platform here. But yeah, I essentially think of putting the water here as like the E key leaking battery liquid. So yes, you unfortunately have to find another calculator that can do that for you. But even then, yeah, would you still consider buying this calculator? Yeah, satisfaction guaranteed if, or rather, refunds guaranteed if you're not satisfied. The refund policy is quite generous here. But yes, this is the Lemming calculator, and I think you can probably tell that I had somewhat of a lot of fun putting on the decoration area, and also the math equations that I sprinkled, yeah, at various parts of the low here. Oh yes, the other thing I should mention is that the pi is exactly 3. Yeah, this Lemming doodle right here is like, huh? What do you mean by that? Yeah, that's not true at all. So this Lemming, essentially you could say, is scratching his head, and is very, very confused. Well, essentially, these Lemmings can be considered like mindless rodents, where essentially they will be more than happy to walk into danger, unless you intervene and give them skills and everything. Yeah, which is essentially how the game came about. Back in 1991. So yes, that is a Lemming calculator for you. Okay, so those were my contest lows, and so now you know how they are solved, or what I intended for them. Or in the case of my R1, yeah, essentially, the solution that I had in mind, but it still has variations in it. But anyway, yeah, that is the entire LDC number 25, including my contest lows. So with this, there's a couple more days before the playing phase closes, and then the voting should start. So with this, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all around for the future projects that I do, whether it's from more contest levels from me or future LPs. So with that, have a great day.